Hey everyone, I'm Sahil Mithil here for the NBA G League Tracker on Instagram, and I'd like to welcome you to our second episode of G League Conversations.
Ice water turn Atlantic, night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion, dropped the roof, more expand.
Today's guest is Stockton Kings guard Cody Demps. Thanks for taking some time to come on the show today.
Oh, no problem. I'm excited. I've been following you guys on Instagram, seeing what you guys been up to. I like it.
So going back to your high school days, you played both football and basketball. What went into the decision to focus on basketball as your career?
So, yeah, played both football and basketball. And growing up, I actually played a bunch of different sports, so baseball, soccer, all that stuff. But basketball was always my first love. I think I always knew that from the beginning. It was the one I first game really fell in love with, even since I was little. So I knew deep down in my heart that's what I wanted to pursue. I'd always dreamed of being an NBA player, so I thought that would be the most fun trying to pursue. So, yeah.
So when you ended up going pro, you made the training camp roster and then eventually the opening night roster of the Reno Bighorns.
Yes, sir.
How did that opportunity with the Bighorns come about?
So that opportunity came through. So I played my last season of college. I played football, and so since I did that, I was kind of off the radar basically for a lot of the pro teams, since they didn't really know that I actually wanted to pursue basketball. So I came back, started working out with my trainer Gus Armstead, and he's a great trainer out here in Sacramento, and he's very connected throughout the whole industry. And so during the summer, when the Kings kind of need more bodies to get some 5-on-5 runs, he kind of invites some of the players he works out with. So I was one of the ones that was able to go meet up with them at Golden One and go get some runs in. And so did that. I was out there pretty much the whole summer. They kind of wanted to say, thank you for being out there, for giving your full effort. And they did that by allowing me the opportunity to try out and go to training camp with them in Reno. So I was talking to the GM, Anthony McClish. He basically said, yeah, like there's no promises. We can't promise you'll make the team, but we'll definitely give you a fair shake and invite you out to Reno. So I jumped at that opportunity because it was one of the few professional opportunities that I had at the time. And so, yeah, went out to training camp, did well, ended up making the team, and then just kept working hard until I finally was able to get some good playing time.
So originally, after you came out of college and you were playing football that last season, was the G League like an option in your head that you were thinking about, or were you thinking more the international route?
So I always had like a couple people that I knew that played in the G League and D League. So one of them was Xavier Thames. He was out of San Diego State. I went to high school with him, so he was played in the D League for a little bit. And the season right before I decided to go pro was Mike McKinney. He was out of Sacramento State, and he played for Delaware. So those two guys. Talking to those two guys were kind of my first introductions to the G League, and I thought that. I was willing to really take any route that was open for me. So I wasn't against going overseas, and I wasn't against G League, but it ended up being an opportunity in Reno, which is basically super close to my home, Sacramento. It's only 2 hours away. So I thought that was like the perfect opportunity to be able to kind of stay at home and have my family be able to come to some of the games too. So it worked out perfectly.
So do you have any favorite like memories from your rookie year?
Ooh, okay. Favorite memories. Oh, man. I can't say one particular memory stands out to me, but just the whole atmosphere, just being able to take in the professional game, kind of playing with guys that I've heard about or I've seen on TV, like my guy Matt Jones, who ended up being one of my good friends on the team, played for Duke. I remember watching him in the national championship game and stuff like that. So I think just the opportunity to kind of be around guys that I've grew up watching, like Marcus Williams was another guy that was kind of like a veteran on the team, and I remember watching him at UConn, and so just being able the opportunity to get to meet those guys and becoming good friends with them was something that I truly cherish for sure.
So then moving to the 2018-19 season, the Sacramento Kings ended up signing you to a 10-day contract. What was that experience like for you, and how did you react when you found out they wanted to sign you?
Man, it was like a dream come true, man. Growing up, always wanted to be an NBA player, and just having that opportunity with the hometown like Sacramento was something that I was truly blessed with. I remember getting the call from the GM, Anthony McClish, again, and saying that he wanted me up at the Golden One Center. I was like, wait, what for? He's like, we got a 10-day contract we want you to sign. So right then, started flipping out. I remember I couldn't stop shaking. I was trying to get on the phone, and my hand was just shaking the whole time. So getting that call and then getting to make that next call, which was to my father, being able to share that moment with him was extraordinary. So yeah, I was super thankful for the opportunity and glad I was able to be out there and kind of put that on my resume as well for maybe overseas looks or trying to make another NBA squad.
Yeah, so speaking of overseas or trying to get back to the NBA, you've been in the G League now for 3 years, and that was your first taste of the NBA. Do you think you're going to continue to grind it out in the G League to get your next NBA opportunity, or do you think you might go the international or overseas route?
Yeah, so, man, with all this COVID stuff going on, it's kind of hard to tell what the future holds. I've heard kind of rumors, and kind of makes sense to me that a lot of the teams overseas aren't going to be able to pay the guys this next season as much as they normally do, with them losing money from the shortened season and stuff. So right now, it's looking that I might try to stick it out and then try to get to the NBA, just having being able to build on my past seasons. I kind of see there's more room for improvement, and I see that I definitely can compete with those guys. So I think right now I'm leaning towards one more year in the G League, trying to make a roster, make a training camp roster. But if that doesn't work out, they always have the overseas route I can fall back on.
All right. So trying to make it to the NBA, what do you think that you need to show NBA teams or improve on in order to make it back?
Yeah, so one thing that I constantly hear is always the three-point percentage. So that's something that I've been really trying to work on, try to improve that, because when the scouts and stuff are kind of looking over the games and they kind of look at your stats, that's one thing that they kind of go to for kind of role players, which I see myself filling in, being a guy that could be like multi-dimensional and really fill in at different roles. So being able to consistently knock down that three is something that really got my eye on working on these past 2 seasons.
So in the G League, what are the best parts of playing in the G League, and what are some of the toughest aspects of the league as well?
So one of my favorite parts of being in the G League is just being able to be in the United States, being able to be around. So that's something that guys that get sent overseas don't really have the opportunity. Their families aren't able to really come to that many games and things like that. So that's something that I really love, being here in Stockton, having like that at-home mentality kind of. And so one of the toughest things about the G League is definitely, I say the travel is pretty hard. It's not like the NBA where they kind of have like private planes and stuff like that. So we're flying commercial. And so it'd be couple layovers, long layovers in the Denver airport, stuff like that. And then just in the terms of playing, I think it's tough by the fact that everyone's hungry out there. Everyone's trying to prove themselves, trying to prove their worth, whether it's overseas or maybe getting another look at the NBA like me. And so guys are coming out there pretty much every night hungry, trying to prove themselves. So it's extremely tough competition.
So not only have you played in the G League the past 2 years, this past season, you had the opportunity to play for Team USA in the America qualifying games. What was that experience like for you?
Man, the Team USA was amazing. I think just kind of the fact that it was kind of like recognition for my hard work, kind of recognized me as one of the top players in the G League was super special to me. And then getting to play against some of the guys that I've been playing against over these past couple of years, some of the talented guys in the G League, was really cool getting to meet them, seeing what their practice habits were like. And then also getting that international experience. That was my first kind of taste of playing some overseas basketball. And so it's definitely different. Yeah, the pace of play is super different. Obviously, the spacing with the three-point line. And it's definitely, I think, more physical. Kind of the refs kind of let guys play. And so that's something that I think is really different.
Yeah. So was it really tough getting used to a new coach and playing with all these different G League players that you're normally competing against?
Yeah, it was tough. A lot of those teams that are competing against are teams that have been playing together for a while now. And so they kind of when they get these qualifying teams for the USA, even like the national team with like Kyrie and all them stuff, they kind of throw those teams together. And so a lot of the guys haven't played with each other before. So those first 2 days of training camp out in Miami that we had were kind of rough, trying to get used to each other, getting to know each other. But I think everyone at that level is like pretty good basketball players and are able to adjust. And they've been through situations like that before. So it was pretty easy. Probably the 4th or 5th day, we're kind of clicking. And that's when I knew, all right, we're going to be all right.
So after you returned to Stockton after the AmeriCup qualifying games, the season was eventually suspended and eventually canceled. Since you guys were in the 4th spot of the playoff race, was it disappointing for you not being able to go chase that championship and go further in the playoffs than you had in years before?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Each of my first seasons, like my first season, we made it to the playoffs. We lost in the first round. I wasn't able to play because I got hurt. And then my second season, we lost in the first round as well. And so just trying to make up for those past seasons, I think we had a good chance of making it far in those playoffs. And it would have been amazing just try to compete and try to be in like a playoff type atmosphere. So, yeah, it was disappointing. I wish we could have finished the season, but the way I saw it is something that was out of my control. So I tried not to really worry too much about it. So unfortunately, yeah, that's what happened.
So before we finish this off, I just wanted to ask you, do you have any advice for players that are possibly entering the G League next season or years in the future?
Yeah, that's a great observation. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I wish I knew going into my first year. And luckily I had some guys that are older and veteran guys on my team that are able to impart some wisdom on me. And one of those things that they constantly said was being a professional, there's a lot of ups and downs. Some days you're happy, like you get signed for a 10-day, super happy. Then other days there might be seasons where you get cut. And so there's a lot of ebbs and flows. And so you got to kind of keep an even keel and always be confident in yourself and in your game. And you gain that confidence by putting that work in during the summer and during those extra hours. And so putting that work in and then being confident in yourself and trying to stay even is something that will lead to success for sure.
So that's about all the questions we got for today. Thanks for coming on, and we really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you guys next year playing in the G League again, hopefully earning that NBA opportunity.
Definitely. No, I thank you for letting me come on. I definitely appreciate this opportunity, man, for sure.